Good morning, third grade. It's Miss Martinez here, and today we're going to be reading another story. But before we do that, I want to look at the learning target real quick. So this is the same learning target that we had the last time that I was on here. Our learning target for today is I can use evidence from the text and my knowledge to answer questions about a text. So not only are we using our own knowledge and thinking about what I can know and what I can infer from it, I want to know, okay, well, what pieces of evidence from the text helps me to prove that that is the correct answer, okay? So we are looking through a story. We're looking for those key details in order to help us answer the question, because we don't want to just guess. We want to be able to say, this is the right answer because the text tells me this and I know this, okay? So here's our learning target, and let's get started on our story. So today we're going to be reading a realistic fiction story called Dr. Gonzalez. So this didn't actually happen, but it could happen. It's realistic, okay? We're not talking about a bird talking, right? That's not realistic because we don't think that could ever happen. But this is something that could happen, all right? So let's go ahead and get started. Read out loud with me to challenge yourself. If you can, at least make sure you're following along with your eyes so that you do not get distracted and that you're following along and seeing where I'm reading. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So again, this is called Dr. Gonzalez. Jose was very excited when his alarm went off that morning. His mother was taking him to work that day. He couldn't wait to see the hospital where she worked as a doctor. Jose quickly got dressed and went downstairs where his mother was waiting in the car. So what are some important things that I might be thinking about here? Where is he going? He's going to the hospital, right? And why is he going to the hospital? Because his mother is going to take him to work that day. And his mom is what? His mom's a doctor. So those are some big things that I want to remember and that I want to make sure I've noticed. Okay, let's keep reading. They arrived at the hospital and his mom said, "Remember, today I am Dr. Gonzalez, not Mom." "I understand, Dr. Gonzalez," Jose grinned. They walked through the halls as Jose thought about his future. Someday, he wanted to be a doctor like his mother. People would call him Dr. Gonzalez when he was older. He would make lots of money and have a big fancy house. As he was daydreaming, a nurse came running up to his mother. Okay, let's pause. What from this paragraph right here do we think is important? What do we think is important about that? What do we know and what have we learned about Jose? Does Jose want to be a gardener? Does he want to be a cop? What does he want to be? He wants to be a doctor too, just like his mom. And why would he want to be a doctor? What are some reasons that we can see from the text that tells us why he wants to be a doctor? He might make lots of money. And what's one other reason? Point to it. What's one other reason that he might want to be a doctor? Yeah, he might have a big fancy house. So now a nurse has come up and run up to his mother. So let's see what the nurse wants. "Doctor, there's a patient in room 302 who needs you, now!" the nurse exclaimed. Dr. Gonzalez raced to the room as Jose tried to keep up. The patient in the room was having trouble breathing. Jose watched as his mother took care of the patient. As soon as the patient was breathing better, there was another emergency. Dr. Gonzalez raced down the hall once more. The emergencies continued for several hours. At lunch, Jose picked out his tuna salad sandwich and frowned. Being a doctor is harder than I thought. Okay, so let's pause. So what just happened here? How would you describe Dr. Gonzalez's work? How is she? Is she calm? How would you describe what's going on right here? So she raced to the room, right? And then she had to race again. And then all these emergencies continued for several hours. So how would you describe that? Her job is pretty what? How would you describe that? What word? Hectic, crazy, busy, a lot, right? Things like that. Hard, difficult. Definitely. So here's a little picture. So then who is Dr. Gonzalez and who is Jose? Yeah, this is Dr. Gonzalez and this is Jose. So this is them, a little picture of them at lunchtime. So let's keep reading. Dr. Gonzalez smiled. It is hard, but it is worth it. What's worth it again? What's hard but worth it? Being a doctor, right? See how those two go together? Why did you become a doctor? To have a nice house? Jose asked as his mother laughed. I became a doctor because I love helping people. That's the only reason to do any job, because you love it and it means something. Jose took a big bite out of his sandwich. He decided that he wanted to help people too. Money was just a bonus. I think I understand, Mom. I mean, Dr. Gonzalez. So why did Jose's mom become a doctor? We know at first why Jose wanted to be a doctor, but why did his mom decide to become a doctor? Why? Because she loves helping people, right? It says it right there. That's why. So remember, ladies, and this is super important, the only reason you should do a job is because you love it and it means something. You want to be able to do a job that you love and that you want to go to so that it's more fun than just having to go there every day and say, oh, gotta go to work. You want to be able to go to work and you want to have fun, okay? All right, so now we are done reading, so let's go over to our questions. The first one says, how does Jose feel after talking to his mom about her work? How does he feel? How does he feel? Does he feel that he doesn't want to be a doctor anymore? That he's not smart enough to be a doctor? That being a doctor requires years of education? Or that being a doctor is rewarding because you get to help people? Which one of these do you think is the best answer? Pause the video, select an answer, and then unpause it. If you need a hint, I would look down towards the last part of the story. So after talking to his mom, which is going on right here, how does he feel about being a doctor? Well, he understands because he just wants to help people, right? Helping people is a great reason to be a doctor. It doesn't talk about how long you have to go to school and get an education for. He never says that he's not smart enough, and he doesn't say he doesn't want to be a doctor. He still does, okay? Number 2, which detail shows how busy Dr. Gonzalez is? They walked through the hall as Jose thought about his future. Doctor, there's a patient in room 302 who needs you. Dr. Gonzalez raced to the room as Jose tried to keep up. Dr. Gonzalez smiled. It is hard, but it's worth it. Which one truly shows how busy she is? Not that she has to do stuff, but that she's so busy and that she has to do a bunch of things. Pause the video, come up with your answer choice. If you chose this one, you are absolutely correct. When I say that I have to race to the other room, it's because I'm busy and there's all these emergencies that are happening, just as it talks about right here, okay? Our next one says, what can you tell about Dr. Gonzalez based on her actions in the story? Do you think Dr. Gonzalez doesn't enjoy her job? That she's a kind, hardworking mother? That she became a doctor because of the money? Or she doesn't think her son will be a doctor? What can you tell me about Dr. Gonzalez based on everything that you read about and learned about? Do you think she doesn't enjoy her job? That she's kind and hardworking? That she just wants the money? or that she doesn't think her son will be a doctor. Which one of these makes the most sense? Yeah, she's a kind and hardworking mom. She's very sweet to him, and she's doing a lot of work. She definitely enjoys her job. She didn't become a doctor because of the money. That's what Jose thought at first. And she never says anything about her son not being a doctor one day. All right, our last question. We should all get this one, ladies. Why does Jose want to be a doctor at first? So in the beginning, at first, why does he want to be a doctor? What does he think in the beginning would be great about being a doctor? That it's challenging and rewarding, so he can make lots of money, that he loves to help people, or so that he can work in a hospital? In the beginning, at first, why does he want to be a doctor? Which one? This one? Because it says right here, someday he wanted to be a doctor like his mom. People would call him Dr. Gonzalez when he was older. He would make lots of money and have a big fancy house. Okay? All right. Excellent job, ladies. That was really, really great. Now, our last thing is, let's still go back to our learning target. We definitely used evidence from the text and our own knowledge to answer these questions. So excellent job. Here is your writing task for the day. Answer these questions. Now, there are a couple questions in here, so you need to make sure you're answering all of the questions, not just the first one, okay? What do you want to be when you grow up and why? And then also, what do you need to do in order to be successful at that job? So I want to know what you want to be when you grow up, why you want to be that, and what do you need to do in order to make sure you're successful and that you reach your goal of doing whatever it is that you want to do when you're older. Okay, so that's your writing assignment. Make sure you do that. Make sure you watch the other videos. Go on to Zern, use ELA, reach out if you have any questions. I hope you ladies have a fabulous day, and I will see you all later. I miss you all. Bye.